Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the newest episode of the Dream Theater album ranking. If you saw the last episode, I gave you what I consider to be the forgettable albums. There were 3 of them. Today we're going to be tackling what I'm considering the middle tier, which I'm calling the great albums, and we have 6 contenders for this in no particular order. This is just the grouping of the great albums, okay? The first contestant in the group of the great albums is When Dream and Day Unite. Probably surprised that I would not put this in the forgettable tier, but I do feel like even though James LaBrie was not the singer, the stuff on this album, at least musically, was still very good, very proggy, and definitely a great foundation for the band, right? Next we have 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence, which is a 2-disc set. We have disc 1 being like 5 songs that are all very long. You have the great epic Glass Prison on here. You have Blind Faith. You have Misunderstood. It's a lot of very interesting textures on disc 1. Disc 2 is actually considered to be like a 43-minute long song in different steps. So for what it's worth, I've always kind of considered it to be so much more than just a long song. It doesn't have the same long song vibe as like the Change of Seasons. It seems much more segmented, but for what it's worth, there are some really good tracks on CD 2. About to Crash being one of them, and I think Goodnight Kiss is the one I'm thinking of. So a lot of great stuff on 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence. Coming in at number 3, again, no particular order, but the third entry into this is Octavarium from 2005. Octavarium, kind of hit or miss. There's some really good songs on Octavarium. The Root of All Evil is a great album opener. Then you have the Octavarium track itself, which is 23 minutes long. It's definitely one of their better epics. And then you also have the song Panic Attack, which includes a very awesome double bass pattern by Mike Portnoy. So that's a great album. Other stuff on there that I'm not mentioning. On to the next one, Systematic Chaos. All right. Now, Systematic Chaos contains a lot of songs. Some of them are great, some of them not so great. Some of them sound very cookie cutter, right? Especially when you compare them to like Octavarium. But the song Part 1 and Part 2 of In the Presence of Enemies, those 2 songs have got to be some of the greatest work Dream Theater's ever done. That intro, like 2 to 3 minute intro on In the Presence of Enemies, is just a phenomenal work of art. So Systematic Chaos. We also have Dramatic Turn of Events, which I believe was the album that Mike Mangini came in on. And I don't believe he had any writing credits, but he played the drums. Because of that transitional period, I feel like this album is kind of the best of the Portnoy era and the best of the Mangini era because it kind of overlapped. A lot of really cool stuff on here. You have some long epics. Breaking All Illusions, I think, is one of the tracks. There's another one that I'm failing to remember. But a lot of unique sounds. There's also a lot of like almost poppy, kind of sad, depressing stuff. Dramatic Turn of Events is the 5th entry into the great albums tier. Coming in at 6, and the final entry into this tier is A View from the Top of the World. In terms of the Mangini years, this is like one of their best. The title track is long. It's multi-sectioned. It's really awesome. You've got some heavy stuff. You got The Alien, which was their single. Love It or Hate It. Overall, definitely the most Dream Theater's been throughout the Mangini years. And also Mike Mangini's most musical outing as well. He's creative as a drummer on this album. So anyway, there it is, guys. Dream Theater, the great albums tier. It's the middle tier, tier number 2. Tune in next time when you'll hear my favorites for the unforgettable albums, or the albums you cannot live without for Dream Theater. Thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.